This is Shiva with the 18th edition of Lockdown Mantras. When the lockdown started in March, we were all a confused, worried bunch. Gradually, we started getting used to being at home and appreciating everything within and outside our homes. We saw in awe and wonder at the way nature started reclaiming land, water, and skies as her own. We began to cherish relationships and the time given to be with each other. We also brushed up old hobbies and tried out new ones. One of the major shifts as a society was how we started viewing and accepting the new social norms, be it wearing masks and keeping a safe distance in public, or visiting hospitals unless it was absolutely vital. Most of us have accepted that this is how life is going to be from here on. Unlike our parents who used to tell us and our children of the hardships and struggles they had to endure in their younger days, we would probably be telling our next generation how easy it was to breathe without a mask. How beautiful it was to see the smile on the face of a friend or stranger. How good it felt to take a break and go for an outing or to our favorite food joint, watch movies in a theater. The list can go on, but we have accepted it and learned to move on. Personally, the biggest change has been on the religious front. All religious ceremonies from birth to death has been reduced to minimal attendance, with only the close family members celebrating in joy or grieving in sorrow. Home has become our place of worship. Family members have become the custodians of the proceedings, and prayers have become personal and meaningful. Don't get me wrong, I miss going to church, but there are a lot of things that really made me sad. The last time I went to church, I was bowing my head in prayer, weeping silently over the father I lost, when an elderly member of the church came and struck my hands, which were clasped behind my back as I prayed. Shocked, I opened my eyes. She admonished me for standing like that and praying, and went on to say and show me how I had to clasp my hands and pray in church. I looked at her with tears running down my face and said, Mama, my God sees my heart and not how I stand as I pray. She said sorry and moved away. I walked back home, totally disturbed over what had happened. My little space with God was taken away from me in the name of rules. Jesus himself never moved with the ultra religious folk who went by the rule book, but with the heathen, the prostitute, the outcasts, the adulteress, the sick, the bleeding, and the unwanted, because he knew their hearts needed healing and society would never even give them that much. And so was it the same for most of the founders of religion, from Buddha to Sri Narayana Guru. We have started to celebrate all religious functions at home, from Easter to Vishu to the recently celebrated Bakrid. We have learned to go back to the basics of worship, cut down our lavishness, and be with our loved ones within our homes. Over the years, we have been missing our childhood days where we spent each festival with our cousins and the entire family eating and playing together. COVID gave us that one more chance in life. We have also come to realize that our homes and hearts are where God lives. All the man made structures of the places of worship are just to fulfill the needs of a few. I am a person who is never comfortable praying in a huge church. You tend to look at awe, at the magnificence of the building, and forget the Creator who has made the whole universe his work of art, including you and me. I have seen and felt his power work not within these huge concrete structures, but through ordinary people in the form of doctors, friends, family, and even strangers. When I was in CMC Vellore with my mother, I've had innumerable moments when I was feeling lost. Suddenly, a phone call from a relative or friend leads me to the right person who will help me. In all natural and man made disasters, we have seen how ordinary people have become angels on earth to rescue and comfort lives and even to salvage the dead. They have opened up their possessions, homes, and even places of worship because they knew the need of the hour is being humane. Of all the religious ceremonies, I think funeral is the most heart tugging. So many times during these COVID days, we have witnessed how a rumor created a situation where even the dead wasn't allowed to a decent burial. It breaks my heart. For a minute, if they had thought that the dead person was one of theirs, would they do it? From Dr. Simon in Chennai to a recent death in my town, saw ruckus created by people who were misinformed about the protocol and safety of a dead COVID patient. In all of this, our family recalls and thank God for taking Papa at a time before lockdown days. Unlike the present scenario, my brother and family could come and be part of the funeral and even spend time with Mummy. Even though Papa was a quiet man, friends and relatives came home and even thronged the church. For the first time, the speakers of the funeral became witnesses to how Papa helped the church in innumerable ways but was asked specifically not to mention about it anywhere. Towards the end of the funeral proceedings, as in any religion, the eldest son has the right to perform the last act of goodbye. I remember how heart wrenching it was for my husband to cover his father's face before they placed the lid of the coffin. As the church motioned Joe to stand next to Papa, I stood next to my brother, knowing how heartbroken he too would be. Just then, our priest, Reverend A.B.K. Joshua, asked Chechi and me also to stand next to Joe. He asked us to cover our dear, dear Papa's face together. If I was watching this from a distance, I would have surely broken down completely. But that simple gesture of his allowed us to say goodbye to him in peace and in closure. We clasped our hands and stood in a circle around Papa to assure him that we three will always be together no matter what. To this, we children have a lifetime of gratitude to our dear Rachan. I'm also glad that the church is now open to the idea of cremation, as this is how I would like to go from this world. I want to leave nothing behind except for my ashes. If my life has touched or given hope to someone in my lifetime, I will forever be remembered in their hearts. If not, I'm only worth to be ashes. To all who have been my patient and kind listeners, thank you for your continued support to my cousin and me. We hope to bring you another perspective in life every week, another way to change the lives we live, another way to be grateful for the life we have. I hope this week you will have an opportunity to be an angel on earth. Till next time, be kind and stay safe.